Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Howie, and we're just hanging out tonight, as usual, on every Monday night. And Tuesday night is big night. It's the music show with Brian and Jay, and occasional drop ins like John and myself. Welcome, John.
Hello.
Welcome, Jay. Welcome, buddy.
We got
Welcome.
pop the top for your
But
road dog.
You're interrupting my. You're interrupting my introductions here.
He's excited.
It's the Buddy Show. Go ahead, Buddy. Okay, that's Buddy. Welcome, Eric.
Hello.
Welcome, Kevin. Good to see you this. Alrighty, hey guys, we're gonna, probably have to start recycling or do some things that may have already been done because, my God, we've been doing this for so many years. It's hard not to repeat some things, but sometimes it's worth repeating because we're constantly getting new people here. And so our topic tonight is, how do you know that you're the right fit, or how do you vet a potential client? So, John, you're nodding your head. What do you got?
That is an important part of the process before you just say yes to any gig. If it's just strictly about the people, you try to have that face-to-face meeting if you can have it, because I think you can get more from mannerisms than you can from a text or an email. And a phone call would be second place to actually getting a chance to sit with them. But if it's something like an important day, like their wedding or an anniversary or something like that, you want to kind of get to know them a little bit. If you haven't worked with them before, just to ask the questions to see if you're on the same page with a lot of things. What the expectations are. You want to just be very transparent and say you can deliver fully their vision, or if you think things are a little too far, you'll have a dialogue. I think that's probably the most important, is to see that if you can see eye to eye and be on the same page. I'm pretty sure you feel the same way if you're going to meet someone the first time. You got to kind of get along with them because you're going to spend some time with these people.
Right.
If what they're hoping for is unrealistic, or you don't think you're the right fit, maybe it's something that's multilingual, that you don't speak another language. You just you rule yourself out. You bow out gracefully and maybe recommend someone that you think would potentially be better to serve the client. It's not always all about us. It's what you can do for making it the best day that they can possibly have. That's my take on it.
Thanks, John. Hey, Kevin, what say you? What has been your experience?
A lot of what John said, I would go. Dialogue sort of hones in on whether they're a good fit for you. Sometimes they might have a vision based on a certain style of music that they like, a certain style that they want the music played in, maybe a certain style of the equipment that they have seen. And it's like, well, I don't have that. So, I might not be a good fit. But the dialogue can be a lot of times. Sometimes I just did a bridal show yesterday, and the head, I don't know whether the owner or the one in charge of the venue, she was from India, India descent. So I had a number of brides and grooms coming in of that persuasion. That nationality, whatever you want to call it. So it's like one of those things where I would definitely, with them, I would want to discuss more of a deep dive to make sure that if they're looking for Bollywood music or something in their native, kind of musical vein, that maybe I'd say, I'm probably not your best fit, but I do appreciate you, talking to me. And me gathering the information to say, I want you to have the best day you can, and I might not be your best man for the day. So a lot of it is just communication, yes. As far as trying to do, and a lot of the brides I seem to be getting now is they just want to text. And you can interpret a text a positive way and sometimes a very negative way. So it's really one of those things where I really want to touch base with them, meet with them, do that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
To feel them out and make sure that, I've been to a few events like, hey, you're fun loving. We like you, but there's another DJ here. We're going to go check him out. And I said, well, just give me a thumbs up if you thought I was the one you want. And she was later on, I saw her and she gave me a thumbs up. Like, hey, you were full and cool to hang out with. Even one of the photographers last night, they were talking to me and saying, yeah, you're a pretty cool guy. You're very enjoyable to talk to. So like I said, it's communication is the key, and that will alleviate a lot of the stress and making sure that you're a good fit.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Kevin. Hey, we're going to go to Buddy. What's up, Buddy?
So one of the things, again, like you said, like everyone said, and is asking probing questions and figuring out what they want to do. But one of the things also, going back to what Kevin just said with texting, I see that a lot with people with messaging them back and forth. And you can probe questions in asking in text messages and ask, what they're looking for, what they're doing. And the big thing I think right now, and communication wise, with anyone, making sure that you fit what they're looking for, and it's always a hard thing, is, you can always ask what kind of style, what kind of event. And like, John said before, if you're not speaking a certain language or you don't understand a certain event, you should not do those. But the other thing is that you shouldn't also be, explain to the customer why you don't want to do those, or why, if you have limited experience in it. They may still want to hire you. You may need to be very in depth in it, but they still may want to say, hey, I'll give you a try, because you don't do bar mitzvahs all the time. But I want you to do this bar mitzvah because I like how you do stuff. It may open a door for you. So I would never say no to everything, but you also want to be cognizant of what's going on and make sure that you're not overstretching, overreaching, and you can't do something right for a customer.
Very good point. Thank you. How about you, Eric, up in New Hampshire?
Well, you guys touched on like what they want and whether you could fulfill that. But there's another, I got to take it a step further. There's venues that I don't want to work at. There's a few of those. And if there's stairs, I got to find out, I got to go up 2 flights of stairs. There's no elevators, set the equipment up. Well, I'm not a fit for you. That's when I call John C. and say, hey, I got a gig for you, bro.
I don't know what to play for a parade of elephants.
Yeah. That's just my input on whether that's a fit for me. All the other stuff, I call that a challenge, and I'm up for a challenge any day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try my best to deal with it if that's what the client wants, musically, this, that. But if there's stairs or it's a venue that I just don't like, then I'm not a fit for you. That's it. That's my outlook on it. But,
Thank you, Eric. All right. Second to last but not least, Mr. Brannon.
Yeah, COVID really changed everything with the inability to meet with clients the way we used to, because when people would say to me, well, what makes you different from other DJs? I would always lead with, I don't accept every offer.
Mm-hmm.
And clients immediately would get like, what? I'm like, I'm not always the right DJ or a good fit or the perfect fit. And what I mean by that is I don't want to be put in a position where my abilities are not where a client's needs are.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side of that coin is there are people I do not want to work for. That's my right. I have the ability to make decisions. I can accept or reject offers. It's rare. One that stands out, I had met with a couple clients, and throughout the meeting, the fiance kept saying, yeah, he was watching, it was like a sports bar, and he was watching a game. He's like, yeah. And the bride was very sweet. And she's like, hey, Tim, anything, for me? He's like, yeah, just don't talk. We're good. Just play some music. We're good. I'm like, well, I have to make some announcements. Yeah, you could skip those. I'm like, well, I have to let people know what's going on, or, first dance, toast. No, just, kind of keep your mouth shut, and we're good. Play some music. And I was like, okay, cool. Sounds good to me. And I looked at the bride and looked at him. I said, thanks for your time. I said, I'll shoot you an email this morning. And I don't even think I was in the car 8 seconds. And I shot the bride an email and I said, you know what? I'm not a good fit for your wedding.
Right.
So I'm, regardless of anything, whether you want to hire me or not, I'm telling you that I'm no longer available for your day.
Right.
And she was very nice. She came back and she goes, I expected to get this email. She goes, I want to apologize for my fiance. He gets very like that. I said, I completely understand, but there's a better DJ for you. You know what? Even if you're going to get texts, I kind of get a little pissy about it. And I'll say like, hey, we need to have a talk or a Zoom. Because we need to make sure we're on the same page. If they text me with, we want to hire you for a date. Great. What's the date? Great. I'm available. Perfect. Let's have a phone call. Can we just do text? No. I'll give up. I've lost gigs before. I'll lose them again. I'm not going to do one bad gig to screw over 25 years of great gigs.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. And if you have a bad feeling about anything in life, trust it.
Yes.
And if you meet with a client, and I've done like 3 of those weddings where I had not met the client, I was subbed in, and I told the people that hired me, dude, if I had a clue this is what I was up against, I never would have said yes. Because you saying to me, I got this really sweet couple. Yeah.
Red flag.
That's great. And you know what? Don't let them take it personally, because it's a two-way street. One couple is going to meet 10 DJs and one DJ is going to meet 10 couples. It's a fair playing field. You're not making judgments. And, as someone said earlier, it's like there's travel involved. There's lifting involved. Eric mentioned stairs. There are locations I will tell clients flat out, oh, that's a beautiful spot. I charge an extra $150 for that spot. You do? Yeah. You can't park there. You're in the loading dock. There's 17 elevators. You got to be Houdini to get in and out of some of the corridors. And hopefully that 150 is enough of a break point that they go, oh, we're going to go with someone else.
Yep.
Yeah. I have a wedding next week. It's only 5 hours, but it's excessively more than I normally would charge. And I said, I got to travel 80 miles in each direction. So I've got to leave so early. That's where this extra few $100s comes on. And they were fine with that.
Yeah.
They were like, that's perfect. No problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, excellent points by everyone here, which I expected. One thing that I used to do back in pre-COVID, this is almost like we have AC and BC, before Christ, well, now we have before COVID. So, but before COVID, when I was really out there banging, I would actually, I would pay $15 a month for a service. It was basically an automated private detective agency, and you could find out anything about anybody for $15. And the reason I started doing this was, trouble clients or bad venues and so forth. But in particular, one call I got was like my gut told me something was wrong. And I said, hey, let me get back to you. I'm not home right now. I have to check my calendar and I'll get back to you. So I looked this person up, on that agency, and they came back as, a felon. They wanted, a backyard party, and they were a felon and a member of a gang that wears colors. And so I was like, yeah, wow, I wish you well, but I am booked for that date, and I wouldn't even recommend that to anybody else, because I knew what was going to happen. Everybody was going to be packing, and then also you don't know when you get a group of those gang members together, a rival gang may come and try to shoot and kill as many of them as possible, and I was not going to be one of them. So, but I would always, I would insist on if someone didn't want to, if they just wanted to text it to me, I would insist at least a Zoom meeting. If you're not going to meet me in person like the old days, like at, the coffee shop or Panera or something like that, at least a Zoom. And if they didn't want to do Zoom, no, we don't. It's not necessary. I said, oh, well, I don't think I'm a good fit for you. I mean, there's something in my gut that tells me something's not right.
And Howie, real quick, not to interrupt, but the other thing that I used to say to clients about meetings in an email would be, hey, I'd love to meet with you and go over this. We'll find a location halfway between both of us. It can either be a bar for a beer or it can be a coffee shop for a coffee, whatever you're comfortable with. But I think it's best that you get to see me and know me a little bit in person and vice versa. So we know we are a good fit. And 99% of the time, the response was, oh, totally. Yes, let's meet here.
Yes.
Because I think when you put the onus on the client and you don't make it about you, they tend to see that as a trust and a positive. Because you're saying to them, when I show up, make sure you trust who I am with my answers. Make sure you feel comfortable with me. And I understand people saying, now the other side of the coin that gets tricky is, oh no, my brother used you. Okay, great. Well, that gives me some info. Or our friend used you. We were at the wedding, and you have to immediately recall that wedding in your head and go, oh, damn, the cops showed up at that one. Or, oh, that one was awesome. And I don't want to offend anyone, but location sometimes too.
Yes.
We joke with, BSR about Racine. I don't even know anything about it, but I wouldn't go there. And there's probably areas that you get a phone call like, hey, Beverly Hills, I'm in. Somewhere else, I don't know. We're a profession. We need to treat the people with respect, but it's a two-way street.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that about, places like Racine or something like that. I'm sure Lori won't mind if I tell this story, but we were talking last night, and her son is you would love her son. He's a top notch.
He's a guitarist.
Oh my God, can he shred? And he's in this band, and they're super tight and great. Well, they took a job they had to drive an hour and a half to one way, so 300 miles. And they were only on for like 45 minutes at the most. But when they got to the venue, this was, she said, oh yeah, it's in such and such a place. I said, that's Newark. And she goes, no, it's this place. I showed her on the map. I said, it's a suburb of Newark, and everything Newark bleeds out. We call it a, S-hole bar, and that's what it's known as, a dive bar for sure. And what they did was they had a guy that was like just oogling over Matt's guitar, like, oh my God, oh man, I haven't seen one of these, can I try it? And, and no. He goes, well, I'm the sound man. Well, the guy had a crappy old, analog board. And what he did was he actually, and this is just a bar, okay? And he's miking everything. And it's like, why? He had it so loud, the band couldn't hear each other. And they only had one monitor, and that was for the front man that was singing. And it was an S show. It really was. And it's like one of those, wow, if you'd only known, like now, of course, they would never go back there. But, I think we've all been there where we've gone to a place and said, I'm never coming back here. It's like, wait, they got an elevator, but they're making me go around back and go up through the loading dock and upstairs. No, no way. I'm here early enough before the guests. I should be able to come right in and set up. So can anybody think of anything else before we put a fork in this? Any last final thoughts?
Yeah, just if you have an issue with the venue or you're not familiar, Google is your friend. Look at the venue, look at their reviews. Not only for clients, but for, musicians, photographers, access. There's all that information's out there. Check how many stars, check how many reviews, see if it's positive or negative before you say yes to it.
And Google Maps is your friend. I mean, it sounded like a lovely little town, but when you actually go to the Google Maps, it is like this close to Newark. And I said, no, it's a dive bar because it might be one street away from Newark, but it's Newark, and it was Newark. They were happy to get out of there. So anyway, hey guys, thank you all for hanging out with us, and thank you, my illustrious panel. And we are going to say good night. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below when this gets published to YouTube, and we'll be happy to tackle them for you. Until then,